Welcome to another series of Oshkosh Rocks, the show to promote Oshkosh. We want you to be proud to live in this town, and we're going to show you why. Today, we're going to talk about downtown Oshkosh, the past, the present, and the future. There's a lot of stuff that happens right here in downtown. Years ago, it was a lumbering town, second biggest city in the state. Today, there's much going on with festivals and retail and parades, and in the future they're going to be redoing the main street and even making it a nicer place to come visit. So come on, let's go watch and see what's happening in Oshkosh.
Oshkosh rocks.
Oshkosh has a rich history. Back in the 1800s, it was the second largest city in the state. Lumbering was the business, and they did a lot of it around here. Today we have Terry Laib, a contractor that's done a lot of renovations. And the best place to see the old buildings that were around back then is Main Street. And Terry, you've been involved in this for a long time, haven't you?
Yes, I have, Bill. 30 years.
And you were telling me before that there's a historic district on Main Street for all the old buildings?
The downtown historic district runs from Algoma all the way up to Irving Street. And all the buildings in that, just about all the buildings in those two block areas are on the register, state register. So other people have recognized what a great downtown we have.
And the buildings, most of them are made on the outside of the same type of brick, aren't they?
Yeah, a lot of Cream City brick in the 400 block. And as the other thing that you notice about the 400 block is the upper facades all are sympathetic. All the windows have crown tops, and a lot of the casework on the upper windows are the same or very similar, and so it gives you a real harmonious view of that block.
And when those buildings were originally built, it was retail on the first floor and apartments on the second floor?
Very typical. Yeah, very typical.
And then what happened over the years?
Well, over the years, actually, what's happened is the second floors kind of went vacant, and people moved out and were let go. But in the last 10 years, we're going back to the way it was before, where the second floors become residences and first floors are office or retail. And one reason that that's so appealing now is because a space like this or many others in the 500 and 400 block have these 12 and 14-foot ceilings. Some of them have their original wire skylights. The walls in this building are 2 feet thick, and so noise is not a big problem, but they were built with the kind of amenities that we all like today.
The one on the building on the corner of, must be Church and Main, where the salon mode is?
Yes.
What's the original background of that building? That's a really neat building.
That's called the Webster Block, and E.E. Stevens designed that. He was a former mayor of Oshkosh, and there have been multiple agencies in there. I think the Prudential Life Insurance was on first floor for a long time. The upper areas were offices and had not been residential, and there was a dance floor up on the upper floors too. And the rehab a couple years ago allowed for mixed use, so they have apartments from second floor on up, and then first floor is the salon mode, which is a real successful hair salon.
And we're right across the street from that now, and you're in your lovely apartment. You took some time to redo this building. How was that?
I've often said that I paid the city $1 for the building, and I should have only paid 50 cents. But it's been a great project, and this space is one of a kind. It's really quite unique. There's almost 4,500 square feet on 3 floors. But the whole building is unique. The whole building encompasses 30,000 square feet and includes the original auditorium from the Opera House days, and from the First Methodist Church also was here for 100 years. It had interesting history since 1970 in that the Boys and Girls Club were here for about 20 years. Then they moved to their new quarters, and Father Carr moved in with his homeless shelter.
Wow.
And then when Father Carr moved out to the highway, then I was able to get the building for rehab. And so now we have a large first floor available for retail or office. We have the auditorium, which has a fitness center now. We have 3 affordable apartments on second floor, plus we have this great apartment upstairs.
Wow, if
Yeah.
these walls could talk.
Yes, if these walls could talk is true. That's quite right.
And then just to the south of here, across Merritt Street, is
Yes.
another older building that's
Right.
been redone.
Well, that's the old Oshkosh Business College, and now called the Bent Block. And I know when they started that renovation that the partitions and doors and things were still upstairs from the Oshkosh Business College.
Wow.
And the architect and the developer, they retained a lot of that in terms of the tin ceilings and so forth. So the upper floors on that are all residential apartments, and the first floor is all retail and office and houses art galleries and so forth.
You travel around not only in the state but around the country. You go to towns like this. Do you see much of this, or is this kind of special for Oshkosh?
No, I think Oshkosh is kind of catching up. There have been some towns like Sheboygan Falls, downtown Neenah, and some other towns that kind of got the bug about 10 or 12 years ago. And I think Oshkosh is really starting to get going on the notion of the great value of the downtown historic buildings.
Mm-hmm. And now when they're going to redo the parking lot behind the 400
Yeah.
block, and then the new Main Street's going to be redone, I think Oshkosh's got a lot going for it.
It does, and we're fortunate that we have the kind of building stock we still have. Now, I have clients that I work for who move here from the East and West Coast, and they marvel at all the old buildings that we have, both houses and commercial buildings. And they come from areas that were kind of swept clean in the demolition phase of the 70s. And so our downtown was spared, and we have several other historic districts in Oshkosh that are fabulous for original buildings.
Well, we're pretty lucky here.
Yes,
aren't
we are. Yes,
All
we
right,
are.
Terry. Well, nice talking to you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks for watching Oshkosh Rocks. Check out downtown. It's pretty cool down here.